it, ladies and gentlemen, that I've had this great and outstanding being in my presence, and I'm more than happy this afternoon that he is with me. He is the world-renowned herbalist. He is a master being. Dr. Sebi is my guest this afternoon. There shall be no interruptions outside of our commercial breaks, and we go right straight to it. Welcome home, Dr. Sebi.
Thank you so very much.
I say welcome home. It just feels like you belong here with us. You know,
I feel like
I feel so comfortable with you.
Same here. I haven't met a people that encourages me as much as I am encouraged here in the Bahamas. Not only encouragement, but I feel the love from you guys, definitely. Sincerely.
Since the last time you were here with us about 7 or 8 months ago, you've been traveling around the world. Where have you been?
Oh, boy. I've been to Toronto. I've been to South America, Chile. I've been to Honduras. Whereas someplace else, I can't even recall because I have so many on the list now.
Ah, yes.
But I've been around.
How is the village?
Oh, the village. You know, there was a point in the village that I want to sell it. There's some Chinese who want to buy the village from me. They promised me some money for it, and I want to sell it. I was disgusted.
Why?
Because I had reached a point where I felt that I was no longer useful, and I didn't know where to take it. I didn't have that mechanism to make it function. Yes, people go to the village, and let me tell you something. I've had doctors, I've had rabbis, I've had preachers, and everybody in the community goes down there with diseases. And one in particular that I must mention is diabetes. People go down there with diabetes, and in 4 days they have no more diabetes. I don't care how long they have. 4 days.
4 days.
The treatment is 2 weeks. But in 4 days, your sugar will disappear completely.
Disappear.
And look, I had a man, and I think that I would like to give you, and I will call you and give you his number. His name is Larry. Larry is a policeman in New Jersey. In fact, you could even research it yourself easily because he's a policeman in New Jersey. His sugar was 600.
Whoa!
And
600?
And the doctor told him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Honduras." The doctors in New Jersey tell him, "Are you crazy? For what? If we can't help you here, what's in Honduras?"
Yes.
He said, "There's a man there named Dr. Sebi." He said, "Oh, yeah? Well, if you get on that plane with your sugar at 600, you may not even get to Honduras."
Really?
He said, "Well, I'm going to take the chance." Larry came to the village, and in 4 days, the sugar was down to 93 from 600. Now, when you tell that to someone, for someone to fathom or to process that is difficult. And the only reason why it becomes difficult, because we, the so-called black people, we don't even know that mandate that God provided for us. Why I said that? You see, when God made things, animals and human beings and plants, he made sure not only did he provide these plants and these animals and human beings with environment, because he didn't put black people in Alaska. God did not make that mistake. He put Eskimos in Alaska. He did not place burdock plant in the Bahamas, but he sure placed simple YB. So you will begin to see that geography and gene are directly connected. Directly connected. So as we were taken away from our environment, and I am not saying this to cast any dark shadows or negativity on any race of people, but this did occur. Occurrences occur because they have to occur. So we were taken away from our home, Africa, and spread around the world. In so doing, we lost that cosmic connection that God gave the beaver to show the beaver how to make his nest, his dam, how to catch the fish. God also teach the eagle how to make its nest and the food that it should eat. Not only did God prepare the eagle to make its nest way up on those rocks, God also coded the eagle to eat blood, although the eagle is a bird. So when God coded every race and every plant, like the burdock plant, you go to the burdock plant for iron, but you don't go to sea moss for iron. You go to sea moss for calcium and potassium phosphate and potassium iodide. You go for bromides. It's coded that way. So I asked the Supreme Court, when you removed the black man from Africa, did you bring his food with him? The judge said no. I said, Your Honor, we are operating like a car that burns diesel with gasoline in it. So as I talk about these things, curing people of diseases, the word cure sends off a kind of funny feeling.
Yes.
Because we have been told that there is no cure. But that statement, there is no cure, is like a gorilla going to visit the polar bear, and the polar bear dictating to the gorilla how things are and how things should be. But the gorilla has his own mandate. We don't have one of our own that we could say, put it against that which prevails. Well, let me tell you something. That which prevails in reference to medicine have done some things that has not been too good. They've been violating. We have been violated. But when we find our code, we will see that diabetes, well, only means that we have to clean the pancreas. And we have to feed the patient zinc. Why? Because the pancreas, unlike the blood, which need iron, the pancreas need chromium, not zinc. Chromium. The prostate needs zinc. But chromium is what the pancreas needs. So we find a plant that has chromium to rebuild the cells in the adit of Langerhans. After you have de-obstructed the duct, which prevented your insulin from reaching your duodenum. That's too difficult to be understood? No. We've been told that if you have diabetes, if you have leukemia, if you have AIDS, this is the result of a germ, a virus, and a bacteria. Well, that particular thought pattern and that position is a European position, and there is nothing wrong with it. All we are doing is showing that the African position is different. The Chinese position is different. The Indian position, which is the Ayurvedic, is different. What is the difference with the African against all others? The African is the only, and I repeat, the African approach to pathology is the only approach that uses carbon-based substance. Why carbon-based? Well, because, it is electrical. Anything that is carbon-based is electrical. And why electrical, Dr. Sebi? The human body is electrical. So to feed an electric body, you cannot feed an electric body a food that is below the resonance of the body. If the body is electrical, okay, so the food, the medicine, or nutrition should be electrical. And that is what we have in Africa. We don't have that now. That's been gone. Like, for instance, I hear mentioned, and I have used it many times to categorize things, separate things, to differentiate. There's a set of rules that they call in science the concentration of hydrogen, which is short, abbreviated, pH. The pH value of things. If the pH value is below 7, is acid. But when you go to a supermarket, everything in a supermarket is acid. So now, what did the African eat? The African didn't have to know about pH value of anything. The African didn't have to know anything about what he's going to put in his mouth, because the African lived like the gorilla. God gave the gorilla that code. The gorilla doesn't eat meat. Now, why doesn't the gorilla eat meat and the polar bear eat leaves? Because they were not coded to do such thing. The gorilla automatically obey that cosmic code, that God-given mandate. With us, same. But when we were taken away from Africa, now we are all over the place without the food that God prepared for us. With the little time that I have spent in using the food that God made for us, I see where AIDS and diabetes, oh, those things are easy. It's easy.
But doctor, AIDS is a virus.
AIDS is not a virus.
No, the HIV is a virus.
It's not a virus.
Acquired immune deficiency, isn't it a virus that attacks the...
Well, let me tell you something about the virus theory. I never believe in theories. When you make a statement, I want you to substantiate that statement. This is why when I talk, I want to be clear. I don't want people to be, like foggy in the head. They tell us that diseases are the result of germ, virus, and bacteria.
Yeah.
I told the Supreme Court, no, Your Honor, that's not true. Are you disagreeing with medical science? Of course I am. I am compelled to do so. I am not doing so because of some arrogance. No, it's not an arrogant position. It's a scientific posture. Oh, yes? I said, of course. I said, Your Honor, you know I'm an African. She said, yes. And they may be a little bit different in my position, of course, because of the way that we see things. So, and what do you see? I said, there's only one disease. Oh,
one disease.
There's only one.
Yes.
There's never been two diseases in the world.
Okay.
But if you talk to an Occidental, the Occidental medicine would tell you there are multiple diseases. Not so.
No.
With the African, there's only one.
Okay. But you go back to this subject of bacteria, germs, and viruses.
Virus.
Are you saying that they are not the source of disease?
No.
Not
I
the
could
source.
say that emphatically, no. Emphatically, no. Now, here's my reason. When I won the case in the Supreme Court in 1988, proving that we were able to cure all these diseases, I received a call one night in Chicago, and it was a funny call. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, who could be calling me at 1 o'clock in the morning? The voice on the other end of the phone said, Dr. Sebi? I said, yes. Well, before I reveal myself, I want you to know, I want to ask you a question. Why did you tell the Supreme Court that AIDS was not the result of a virus? I said, because the compounds I made cured the people that I took to the Supreme Court, which was 77 of them. And 13 or 14 had AIDS, and they no longer have AIDS. My compounds were not designed to fight virus. So if AIDS was the result of a virus, common sense, my compound would not have been able to address it. My compounds were made to remove mucus from the system. And it is the bed of mucus that provides the body with the environment for destruction.
So the number one disease, the disease.
The only disease.
The only disease
is mucus. Anywhere that mucus is localized, you will find a person with that manifestation. Like, for instance, what do you have? Well, I just caught a cold. Oh, yes? What's coming out the nose?
Mucus.
And when you have bronchitis, what's coming out the bronchial tubes?
Mucus.
And when you have pneumonia, what's covering the lungs?
Mucus.
And the judge said the same thing you just said, my brother, mucus, mucus, mucus. The Dr. Victor Herbert, who represented the state of New York, he was so angry. He was angry. Victor hates me. Poor old Victor. Victor hates to know that I live. Victor just hates to look at me. Oh, God, Victor hates me. His name is Victor Herbert. Victor Herbert told the judge, Your Honor, what about AIDS? Dr. Sabian has one disease theory? I said, Your Honor, I don't believe in theories. You see, I am the boy that didn't go to school. And when you don't go to school, when you haven't been to school, the one thing that you are careful with is what comes out of your mouth. We don't believe in theories. It's a fact. There's only one disease. Dr. Victor Herbert is asking, Your Honor, what about AIDS? I said, Your Honor, have you been to an AIDS ward? She said, yes. What is it that the AIDS patient constantly spits up? She said, mucus. So where's the mucus? It's in the skin, it's the blood, and the lymphatic system, which makes the immunological system, those three combined. That is where you find the mucus, Dr. Victor Herbert.